Here's a strange financial fact. Some of the richest people on Earth technically earn almost nothing in salary. For example, Mark Zuckerberg famously pays himself $1 a year. Warren Buffett has kept the same modest salary for decades. And for years, Jeff Bezos earned less in salary than many mid-level managers. But somehow, these people still control billions of dollars. They buy mansions, fund companies, travel in private jets, and influence entire industries. So the question is simple. If they barely earn a salary, where does the money actually come from? The answer lies in a powerful financial strategy used by many ultra-wealthy individuals. A strategy often summarized in 3 words: buy, borrow, die. And once you understand how it works, you start to see the financial system very differently. Welcome to the Quiet Wealth channel, where we explore the strategies behind real wealth. Why the rich avoid income. Most people are taught that wealth comes from income. You work, you earn money, you save some of it, maybe invest a little. But income has one major weakness. It is heavily taxed. In many countries, high earners lose 30% to 50% of their income before it even reaches their bank account. Their earnings is subjected to income tax, payroll tax, state tax, local tax. The more you earn, the more the system takes. This is why many wealthy people structure their finances differently. Instead of focusing on income, they focus on assets. Assets are things that increase in value over time. Examples include stocks, real estate, businesses, land, investment funds, art collections, among others. These assets quietly grow in value year after year. And here's the important detail. In many tax systems, you only pay tax when you sell an asset. This is called an unrealized gain. Let's say you buy stock worth $1 million. 10 years later, it's worth $8 million. On paper, you gained $7 million. But if you never sell the stock, you often don't owe taxes yet. Your wealth simply continues growing. And this is exactly what many billionaires do. For example, much of Elon Musk's wealth exists in shares of his companies. The same is true for Jeff Bezos and Amazon stock. Their wealth isn't sitting in cash. It's locked inside assets. But this raises an obvious question. If billionaires never sell their assets and don't earn an income, where does their spending money come from? The borrowing secret. This is where the second step comes in. When most people borrow money, they take out loans with high interest rates. Car loans, credit cards, personal loans, mortgages. And those loans are paid back using after-tax income. But wealthy individuals borrow very differently. Instead of borrowing based on income, they borrow based on assets. Imagine someone owns $100 million in stock. They walk into a private bank. Instead of selling their shares, they use them as collateral. The bank offers them a secured loan. Because from the bank's perspective, this borrower is extremely safe. If the borrower fails to repay, the bank can simply claim the assets. Because of this low risk, wealthy borrowers often receive very low interest rates, sometimes as low as 2 to 4%. So instead of selling assets, they borrow against them. This allows them to access millions of dollars in liquidity without triggering capital gains taxes. Their assets keep growing. Their investments continue compounding. And the borrowed money funds their lifestyle, luxury homes, exquisite travel, investments, philanthropy. This is one reason the wealthy can appear to spend enormous amounts of money without ever selling the assets that made them rich. Why banks love rich clients? Banks are businesses. Their goal is to lend money with minimal risk. For average borrowers, risk can be high. Average borrowers can lose jobs. Their income can disappear. Debt can spiral out of control. But wealthy clients are different. They often have diversified assets: stocks, bonds, cash, trust funds, family offices. This means banks see them as extremely safe borrowers. In fact, private banks compete aggressively for these clients. Why? Because even a low interest rate on a $100 million loan still generates significant profit. Wealthy clients also use the bank for other services: investment management, estate planning, trust administration, philanthropic foundations. So the relationship becomes long-term and very profitable. But the final step of the strategy is what makes the system truly powerful: the die step. Eventually, every financial strategy reaches the same endpoint: death. And this is where something called a step-up in basis can come into play. Let's imagine someone bought stock decades ago for $1 million. Over time, it grows to $20 million. If they sold it while alive, they would likely owe capital gains tax on $19 million. But if they hold the asset until death, many tax systems reset the asset's value to its current market price. So the heirs inherit it at $20 million, not $2 million. That means the $19 million gain effectively disappears from the tax calculation. This is known as a step-up in basis. It's one of the reasons many wealthy individuals prefer holding assets long-term instead of selling them. But estate planning goes even deeper than that. Estate planning tools. Ultra-wealthy families rarely rely on simple wills. Instead, they use complex estate planning structures. These often include trusts. Trusts allow assets to be managed and transferred according to specific rules. For example, 1. Irrevocable trusts. 2. Family trusts. 3. Charitable trusts. These structures can protect assets, reduce estate taxes, and control how wealth passes to future generations. Another common tool is life insurance inside a trust. Large policies can provide liquidity when someone passes away. That money can be used to pay outstanding loans or cover estate taxes, without forcing heirs to sell valuable assets. Some wealthy families also create family offices. These are private organizations dedicated to managing the family's wealth, investments, taxes, and estate planning. The goal is simple: preserve wealth, grow wealth, and transfer wealth across generations. The buy, borrow, die strategy doesn't mean billionaires never pay taxes, and it doesn't mean the system works the same for everyone, but it reveals an important truth about wealth. There are two very different financial worlds, one built around earning income, and another built around owning assets. Most people spend their lives focused on paychecks, but the largest fortunes in the world were built on ownership. Because when assets grow over time, money starts working for you. And that can change everything. So, yeah, that's the idea behind it. Wealth isn't always loud. In fact, the most powerful financial strategies often happen quietly, behind the scenes. If you enjoy learning how money really works, subscribe to the channel. This is The Quiet Wealth, where we explore the strategies behind real wealth. We'll see you in the next one.